것들을 고민들을 해서
BTS Global News Today. Seoul, October 2025. The night in Seoul should have felt ordinary. But when the digital clock in the corner of the Wever screen hit 9:58 p.m., thousands of notifications began flooding phones all around the world. Jimin is live. Two simple words, yet they felt like an alarm that awakened millions of waiting hearts. But behind the excitement, one question spread like wildfire across every corner of the fandom. Where's Jungkook? As soon as Jimin appeared on screen, his face looked slightly tired but radiated that soft, familiar smile. His hair fell naturally over his forehead, a loose white t-shirt draped casually over his frame, and the dim lights around him glowed like captured sunset. His voice was gentle, slightly hoarse, as if he had just finished singing, or perhaps crying. "Annyeong, it's been a while, hasn't it?" he said softly, smiling faintly. The comments exploded instantly. "Jimin, we missed you. Where's Jungkook? Is this a hint? And even, you look like you've been waiting for someone." But Jimin didn't mention Jungkook right away. Instead, he spoke quietly about autumn in Seoul, about the smell of coffee from the cafe beneath his apartment, about the songs he's been listening to lately. Yet in the middle of his sentences, there was a pause, long, heavy, and filled with meaning. He gazed into the camera with an unreadable look, as if he wanted to say something but didn't know how. "These past few days, I've been thinking about someone," he suddenly said. "Someone who always tells me I'm too soft, but he's actually softer than anyone I know." That single line sent fans into chaos. The name Jungkook flooded the chat like a wave. Everyone knew exactly who Jimin meant, yet no one dared to say it outright. Jimin smiled faintly, lowered his gaze, swiped at something off-screen on his phone, and then looked back up, eyes slightly glassy. "I just hope he's doing okay," he whispered. Moments later, Jimin picked up a small guitar resting on his lap. The melody that followed was unmistakable, "Still With You," Jungkook's solo song, a symbol of their unspoken connection. The mood shifted instantly, soft, emotional, almost sacred. There were no words, only music, and in every note, fans could feel messages woven between the strings, something only those who understood their bond could truly grasp. Halfway through the song, Jimin stopped playing. He stared into the camera and said softly, "I know you're asking about him, but sometimes silence doesn't mean someone's gone." His words were like a cool autumn wind, gentle but piercing deep into the heart. Comments poured in like rain. "Is Jungkook okay? Are they still in touch? Is this about what happened in LA?" Referring to the recent rumor that Jungkook suddenly canceled his scheduled public appearance in Los Angeles without any explanation from HYB. Jimin turned toward the window behind him where Seoul's city lights shimmered. "I watched something a few nights ago," he said quietly. "Someone was singing in a practice room. No cameras, no one else, just him and his reflection in the mirror. Sometimes he forgets the world, but I know he never forgets us." The fandom erupted again. Everyone was convinced Jimin was talking about Jungkook. It felt like proof that they were still watching over each other, still connected even if not side by side. Jimin's next words deepened the mystery. "You know," he murmured, "sometimes words can't replace a glance. I hope he knows that." The atmosphere turned emotional. Jimin stared at the camera for a long moment without saying anything, smiled softly, and whispered, "You'll understand later." Then, he continued singing, snippets of his old songs, Promise, Filter, and even a bit of Letter, the song he once dedicated to Army. But during Letter, tears began streaming down his cheeks. He smiled through them and said quietly, "Sometimes we write letters not to be read, but to remind ourselves that someone is still listening." When the live ended, Weverse turned into a battlefield of theories. Many fans believed Jimin had just sent a secret message to Jungkook, especially since Jungkook hadn't been seen anywhere for weeks. Not at HYB, not at the gym, not on social media. His usually active Instagram, full of studio photos and practice clips, had gone completely silent. That HYB gave no official statement. But some airport spotters reported that a man wearing a black cap and oversized jacket, with tattoos resembling Jungkook's, had been spotted at Incheon Airport 2 nights earlier. He was alone, walking quickly, avoiding cameras. Some believed Jungkook had gone on a personal retreat. maybe to Jeju or abroad for a secret project. But the most popular theory was that Jungkook was preparing something big, and that JIMIN'S live was a clue, a deliberate piece of a bigger puzzle. Within hours, the phrase, "Where's Jungkook?" became the #1 trending topic worldwide on Twitter. Short clips of JIMIN'S live flooded TikTok, especially the moment he said, "Sometimes silence doesn't mean gone." Fans captioned them with phrases like, "Jungkook moment is real," and "Something's coming. I can feel it." A Korean entertainment journalist even wrote on X, "JIMIN'S live tonight wasn't just a casual fan session. It was a personal broadcast disguised as one. And the name behind it is Jungkook." That night, the entire BTS fandom sank into a wave of nostalgia and longing. Many replayed old clips, moments of Jimin and Jungkook laughing backstage, performing together during "We Are Bulletproof," "The Eternal," and all the little glances that once made ARMY believe in their unspoken bond. It felt as if Jimin was gently reopening those memories, reminding everyone that the thread between them was still intact, even if hidden. Then, at 11:40 p.m., something small yet monumental happened. On Weverse, beneath Jimin's live, a single new like appeared from Jungkook's official account, that no comment. No emoji, just a like. And the world exploded. Fans screamed across platforms, "He's watching! Jungkook is here! He liked it, OMG!" And most of all, they're still together. Moments later, Jungkook left a brief comment, "I'm listening." Only 2 words, but 2 words that shook the entire fandom. It was as if everything Jimin said that night had finally reached him. The comment disappeared a few minutes later, perhaps deleted by Jungkook or by the system. But screenshots had already spread everywhere. BY morning, Korean media outlets began speculating about a possible duet project between the two. One insider close to a HYBE producer revealed, "They're working on something deeply personal, not commercial, but something that will move everyone." The next day, paparazzi captured Jimin leaving HYBE alone, wearing a black hoodie and white mask. But there was something subtle. He was holding a drink bottle identical to the one Jungkook often carried during practice. Fans once again theorized, had they just met inside? Later that afternoon, Jungkook briefly appeared on HYBE's internal music platform, uploading a short, untitled audio clip. 18 seconds long, gentle guitar strumming, eerily similar to what Jimin had played the night before. At the end of the clip, a faint whisper could be heard, "See you soon." And once again, the world lost its breath. Many now believe that the two are preparing something special for ARMY, something filled with emotion, longing, and a reflection of their shared journey after 10 years together. In Jungkook's silence, Jimin's live seemed to serve as a bridge between a waiting heart and the one searching for direction. That night, international forums overflowed with messages. Jimin looked sad but peaceful. Jungkook's silence is not absence. They're talking through music again. And maybe that's exactly where it all begins again. Not through words, but through music, glances, and the kind of silence that speaks louder than anything. Because in the world of BTS, especially between Jimin and Jungkook, silence is never the end. Silence is a pause before something greater returns. And as Jimin's live ended in darkness, with only the sound of his faint breathing through the mic, the world knew one thing for sure. Something is moving behind Jungkook's silence. ARMY just needs to wait a little longer.
Cause the cage is no